Hello, 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 my loves. We did it, Daddy.
We did it.
We did it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monique and Sidney's Open Relationship. How's everyone doing? Daddy, what? Like, what?
Who are you?
I am Monique.
And I am Sidney.
And this.
It's Monique and Sidney's open relationship.
Y'all, please forgive me because I am so not technology. What is it?
Technologically savvy, nor am I, but that's the introduction we do at the beginning of the show normally. But my baby get excited
I was
sometimes.
so excited, baby, because the goddamn thing worked.
I got standards. Fucking that thing.
Ow.
Yeah.
Come
Get
on.
it.
Shit. So
My baby says shit.
is today is an amazing show. We're excited about it, and we think it's a conversation that we have to have.
Gotta have it.
We've got to have it. And today's show is what, Daddy?
Is there enough shine for everyone?
Is there enough shine for everyone? And how did we come up with this one?
Well, actually, because we couldn't fit everything we needed to say in the title, we kind of simplified it. But it's a culmination of is there enough shine for everyone based upon the fact of the question, why does it seem like there can only be one black person
Yes.
at a time that's a star?
Mm.
Why is it that we collectively can't share in the goods, in the positives, and not fight amongst ourselves for scraps?
And okay, so what was it, a couple weeks ago? A couple weeks ago, I was in Ontario, California at the Improv, and I did Power 106 with the Brother Cruz. And when I tell you, if you've not listened to this brother station, make sure you do. Power 106 FM out in LA. That show was so full of love, and it was so much energy in that room. And Cruz asked me, what did I think in reference to Nicki Minaj and Cardi B? And I appreciate the way he asked it because it wasn't an ask of, so Mo, it was an ask of, what do you think about your sisters dealing with this situation? And for my feeling is, it's enough for everybody. And they got these two beautiful queens going at each other when they're both musical geniuses, in my humble opinion.
In their own right.
In their own right. Now, someone questioned, quite a few people questioned, how can you call them musical geniuses? Because, goddamn it, they made it. They made it.
But not just that. Lyrically, what they do, they're geniuses in their field. They've got there is definitively not a whole lot of slots out there in the game for black women.
Come on.
That are rappers. That's why it is easy for you to speak about them historically. We may miss a few, but when you come to the hip hop form, if you will, when you think about female rappers, you're gonna think about Salt and Pepper.
Come on.
You're gonna talk about MC Light.
Come on.
You're gonna talk about Queen Latifah.
Come on.
Foxy Brown.
Come on.
What's our girl?
Lil Kim, Remy Ma.
Now you talking about Cardi B and you talking about Nicki Minaj.
Yes.
It's not a plethora of sisters. Now I know we may have forgot some along the way. Foxy Brown. We may have forgotten some, but predominantly that's who Roxanne Shante. So you got to understand, how many did we name? I don't think it's two handfuls, but they dominate through decades. Okay, that's who we've been given through decades. So you got to give props to Nicki Minaj and Cardi B for making it to where they are. So they are geniuses in their own right.
And when we jump on the bandwagon, that's when we fuck it up. When we jump on the bandwagon and we start saying, well, this one is better than this one, and this one can do this, that's when we fuck it up instead of us celebrating the genius of these sisters. Let's go to the lines, Addie. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sidney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hey, this is from New Orleans, Louisiana, baby.
Hey, baby.
What's going on?
Talk to us.
Please.
I'm chilling. Hey, Monique, I want you to be my mentor. I want to get in the comedy game.
Well, you know what you do, baby? This is the biggest piece of advice I can give you. You ready?
Yeah,
Go get on stage and tell the truth.
that's me all the time.
Then you got it. then you got it and you ready. Now, as a comedian, let me ask you something, because we're talking about why is it that oftentimes we don't feel like we can all shine. And as a comedian, how do you feel in reference to somebody having a top spot or this spot or that spot? What do you think about that?
Here's the deal. We got to learn our culture, first of all. And in our culture, we got to appreciate when a person shines instead of taking back what that person rightfully worked hard for. Like, as a female aspect of your comedy, you bang. You bang for a long time, man. You got your due when Precious came out. And now you bringing the next group along trying to get that right. So you'll shine. Every time they shine, you should shine.
Come on, brother.
Shine.
That right there. And we love you, baby, and thanks for calling in. That right there. Every time they shine, you shine. Because you feel like you took part in the next one coming. You know, I got a tweet. Somebody had tweeted me in reference to Thea Vidal. And Thea Vidal is getting ready to be honored just for her years of comedy, right? And it's like that sister right there deserves every bit of it because she kicked down doors for my generation to come. And I can say that I can speak firsthand on who that woman was as a comedic sister for me. When I first got to Hollywood, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anybody, nothing about the Hollywood parties, the Hollywood life, and she had her show Thea.
That's right.
And that woman invited me to my first Hollywood party. Now, y'all, I didn't even have no damn Hollywood clothes, okay? She gave me some big wide leg black pants and a sequins top. And we walked into that Hollywood party, baby, and she saw to it that I was treated like she was treated.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, like that brother just said, when one shine, we all shine.
And that's part of the reason why we're having the conversation, because you hear the divisiveness where we listen to DJs saying, who do you think is better, Cardi B or Nicki Minaj?
Yes.
When we should not be trying to say who is better, and we just give them their props on their own accord, because when do you hear white artists and white disc jockeys asking, who do you think is better? But because we know the spots are so limited, we are always trying to jockey to be number one against ourselves, as opposed to coming together and collectively being the best that we can be. Mm-hmm. Because being number one is this fictitious idea like a unicorn. It's something in someone else's mind. But if you're being the best you can be and bringing the best music you can bring, then that's what it is. And it translated for Monique when speaking about Tiffany Haddish, yes. Because initially it was as if there was a level of divide trying to bring those two sisters, these two Sagittarian sisters, apart. Okay, they both the same sign. Okay, yes. Not far apart. You see the energy. And the thing about it is, about Sagittarians, in my experience, when they understand the truth, they're going to go with it. Yes. Can't deny it, because that's why they're master archers, and they got to put that arrow at it. But I was appreciative of the fact that Tiffany responded back and was like, ain't nothing but love, because as opposed to taking the bait and knocking down Cat Williams because he might have had a moment, or Kevin Hart or whatever, to be able to collectively say, these folks are geniuses. Yes. Because do you understand how hard it is as a black person in entertainment to make it to where the world knows your name? You know how hard it is as a black person to go get a BMW, Mercedes-Benz, because the same shit it takes for you as a person of color is not necessarily the same thing it takes for those who are not.
Come on. We're going to go to the lines. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sidney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hey, how you doing, Monique? This is Mo calling. How you doing, Sidney?
Super fantastic.
Hey, baby, talk to us.
Yeah, I heard about the situation that was going on with Kat and Tiffany. And one thing I got to give y'all respect for, y'all being OGs about this, is because at the same time, yeah, even though they're going through, everybody has their different opinion as far as who's a better comedian and who's not. The point of it is you're right. We don't look at the bigger picture on how they try to bring us against one another all the time, and we basically become puppets on a stage play.
Come on.
Come on.
That just for their gratification. And it's, this bang within our black community, because I'm starting to learn a little bit more about how the entertainment industry is, how the best person that goes in, somebody got to take that other person down.
Come on.
And we got to be more mature about the situation to get to the point where, like, look, man, you know what? Let her do what she's doing. Like, you took the OG while we was on the radio station a week ago, and you was just like, look, man, we all got to shine here. We don't have to just be dog-eat-dog. You shine the way you shine, Tiffany shine the way she shine, Cash shine the way he shine, and, Kevin Hart shine the way he shine, and we all could eat.
Come on, baby. We love you, brother. And see, again, that's the, if one shine, everybody shine.
And to answer you at Brantley 53, who we love you. They would call you a troll, but what I would call you is gold. Because we're going to talk to you, brother, until you get a soul. That being the case, what we feel when you say, why do we tear them down? We don't tear
Why
down.
do we tear down who?
He said Lee, Oprah, and Tyler.
Just so the people will know.
Right. He asked, why do we tear down Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry? And what we're saying is, we are not looking to call anyone out or tear them down. We're looking to call them up. Because when you're doing Super Soul Sundays,
come on,
okay, when nobody can cuss on your set and you're promoting this Christian faith, Lee, he's out of the picture. Nobody's even questioning Lee in terms of faith or none of that. Lee is just Lee Daniels. Like, we love his crazy ass and all of it. He is bugged, okay?
That's Uncle Bug.
That's
Uncle Bugging out.
He Uncle Bugging out. But the reality is, we don't hate or dislike either one, none of the three. But we have to have a real conversation amongst ourselves out loud, because they brainwash our community into thinking that the bag is all that is to be had. And it's not. And by any means necessary, when Malcolm said it, it was about fighting the revolution. When they saying it, it's about getting the money by any means necessary. And now you're selling your soul. That's why we saying that, what we saying about them. When you see Cardi B, when you see Nicki Minaj and they talking about her concerts not doing well and this, that, and the other, you don't understand that there are systematic functions designed because they don't want to promote people's show. They don't want to spend the money. Everybody's not going to be Jay-Z and Beyonce, and there's a whisper of it and it sells out in 13 seconds. Promoters, there was a time where they understood you have to invest money to promote. And they don't like to do that. And in them not doing that, what it does is allow them to minimalize your value the next time around, because they say you didn't sell out. Well, it was purposeful that they knew, because you ain't gonna sell all them CDs. You ain't gonna get all them downloads. Look, you ain't gonna sell all them records.
Come on.
Because I'm gonna go old school.
Come on.
If somebody's not
Daddy,
listening.
you call them records.
Records. I want my daddy's record. So that being the case, they're gonna show up for the concert. So you gotta understand all the diabolical plots that are designed to divide us as a community, not just outside of the entertainment business, and rather not just inside the entertainment business, but outside the entertainment business.
And as long as, and here's something else that we have to address. The truth seems to offend some people. I know I can get offended at times by the truth. If the shit, I'll be like, oh, that was true. That stung my little feelings a little bit. But you have us so used to dealing with the lie that when the truth comes to the surface, we so used to dealing with the lie, we like, oh, what are y'all doing? How could you attack? How could you jump on these people? We've never attacked. I ain't never, ever attacked. I ain't never Cardi B'd Oprah Winfrey. Never have I done that. Not attack anyone. However, we're saying this is what the truth is.
And Brother Brantley, when you said all these situations fixable because you want us all to work together, That's the most kind thing you've ever said the whole time you've looked at our podcast, which means that we speaking to you, we touching you, brother or sister. I'm not sure. But that being the case, we would love to work things out. But you got to understand, how do you forgive one who asks not for forgiveness? You accept them and you appreciate them, but there's nothing to forgive if they've not asked for forgiveness. Now, we've accepted the route that they've taken. When people say, I'm going to apologize to you, as we've played on our podcast, him verbalizing, I apologize, that you guys are not wrong, you're right, and I'm going to let the world know that Monique is right, but he, Tyler Perry, not do that, then what are we talking about? How can you work through something when someone makes a promise and they're not of their word? And lastly, I would say to my Christian brother Tyler, what would Jesus do?
And this is why, in my humble opinion, we have a hard time as a community having a spotlight shine on everybody. Because when you do have an Oprah Winfrey and a Tyler Perry and a Lee Daniels, when you have those people that says, I need to have it all, I gotta have it all. And what I will do is to shut you down. I'll hold on to the truth.
And as Adrian Bryant just said, they strategically avoid talking about the situation.
Come on.
What we are going to do is strategically and directly talk about the situation, because I believe the people that are listening in the world is now ready for the turn that you can feel in the air that's changing.
Yes.
And that is, people are ready for full disclosure. People are ready to hear the truth, because the truth is the only way that things are going to be right. But when you get caught up in individuals and you ask yourself, you've heard Oprah Winfrey speak in reference to the Me Too movement, but when have you ever heard Oprah Winfrey speak up about the disparity in pay that black women get? Specifically, that black women get. The only time I've ever heard her speak in reference to racism was the time that she was not allowed to go when she was in, what was that, Paris? And she came to, what was it, Hermes, or one of the places to get purses, because she was going to get a gift for someone, and they wouldn't let her in because the store was closed and they didn't recognize that she was Oprah. So now she claimed racism as we understood it. Well, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. That's not what we understood it to be. And her makeup artist, Roosevelt Cartwright at the time, who said to us, I'm an old man, I ain't give a damn about what nobody say. You can say what I said. He said that wasn't it.
Come on, let's go to the lines. Hey, my love, you owns Monique and Sidney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hello, my name is Michael Curtis. I'm actually calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey, Michael from Milwaukee. Talk to us, baby.
Hi. So I was calling, you know what? I think a lot of times we get so caught up in fighting for the position that we've had, or that we've had for so long, and we get so comfortable where we are that we don't recognize when it's time to elevate or work collectively as a unit to grow larger. Like, for example, Nicki Minaj, to me, for her to be fighting with Cardi B is like me arguing with a 4-year-old. Like, I've been doing this for a decade prior to her showing up. If you see me arguing with a 4-year-old, you'll think I'm crazy. So for me, it's kind of like Cardi B just showed up. If anything, you should be welcoming her. And Nicki, you shouldn't even be fighting over a #1 hip-hop spot that you've had before. Like, what do you care? You've done it so many times before. You should be, trying to start a record label and providing other opportunities for other female rappers. Mm-hmm. But instead, you're fighting for this #1 female hip-hop rapper spot that you've already had. And so I think, and a lot of times we have a culture that is so busy comparing, our entertainers when they shouldn't be compared. You have people up here, comparing Aretha Franklin to Beyonce. And that's not even a comparison. That should never happen. But those are the same type of people that compare to Tiffany, when I don't think that should have happened. That shouldn't even have been a conversation. So I think a lot of times we do it to ourselves. It's no more they. The they happened some time ago. I think it's really, at this point, it's us doing it to each other, and we really have to learn not to do that, and really try to see how can we collectively rise higher and be better. And I think that's what we're coming into the trouble with. Oh, but I wanted to also add in, I'm coming to see you when you come to Chicago for my birthday. So I will see you when I think it's November 16th. So I wanted to throw that in there too.
Well, make sure you shout out to me, baby, so I know it's you.
I will.
All right, my love. We love you, honey.
Thank you, now.
And you know, too, even when I did the interview with Power, and he was asking me what I thought, and I said, you know, I can't speak on someone else's dynamic because I don't know what it is. And what happens is, as people have spoken on mine and ours, and they really don't know what it is, we assume what we think it is. But until you actually talk to those people, we shouldn't jump to judgment on what we believe it to be and not know what it is to be for real.
And we never know what someone has been fed to make them respond in the manner that they've responded. So it's easy for us to understand and intellectualize what one should not be doing. We don't know what Cardi B knows. We don't know what Cardi B was told in reference to Nicki Minaj. But what we do know, and what hopefully we can put out to the universe on their behalf, is that they recognize how talented that they are. And that if they come together with a Remy Ma and they went on tour, how much fire that would actually be. And to Brother Brantley, when you say that Oprah is your Jesus, I mean, that's fair. We're just under the impression that if you go behind her in the bathroom after she sits down on the toilet, I believe that the aroma that she'll leave behind will not be reminiscent of what you would think Jesus would smell like. And if so, I would believe you would find out that she's a human being at that moment. But if you choose to believe that, and you said earlier or a moment ago, but she's a billionaire. A billionaire.
They shit too.
And it's not indicative of anything other than her being a very wealthy woman who's very talented, who her skill set has allowed her to be where she is, but being socially conscious of a community and being willing to speak out for it is something completely different.
And again, here's why I believe why our community stands where it stands is because we can't seem to come together in truth. We want to deal with fantasy. And if you notice too, oftentimes, I'm sorry, Daddy, oftentimes, when you listen to us talk, we drop our salaries. I got paid this. I got paid that. Tell me the last time you heard Adam Sandler say what he got paid. When you heard him say it. How about when last time you heard Jimmy Fallon say what his salary was? When was the last time you heard any white entertainer drop their numbers? For some reason, we feel like we must drop our numbers. We must let you know what our numbers are as if that now elevates us to the next level. I'll tell you why I think, too, we fight so much for the spotlight and we believe it can only be one. I remember watching Van Jones with Sid, and when that man said to Oprah Winfrey, "You are a gazillionaire," she got up and danced a jig. Now, the subliminal message that sends for me is it's all about that money. Get that money and get it by any means necessary. So that doesn't say, listen, let me not dance a jig about the money because the money ain't everything. The money's not the be all and end all. But in our community, with some of our entertainers, we make us feel like that's it. It's all about the money.
And it is it when all you have is money. Okay? When you have money, you don't know what it is to have a real relationship. I'll never forget watching Oprah Winfrey on an interview that she did with Jennifer Hudson. And at the time, she was engaged to the young man that was the wrestler. I can't recall his name. I think they had been dating for maybe about a year or two. And she said, "So when you gonna get married, girl? Because it's been 2 years." And in my mind, I'm like, well, How do you comfortably ask that question when you've been dating Stedman for 44 years?
They are associates.
Okay, but why y'all ain't married? But no one would think to ask that question because it's Oprah.
Yes.
And what we're saying to you is, it is, if we really gonna love our sisters, if we really gonna love our brothers, let not how much money you have keep you from telling somebody the real. Because what's happening is, when you're in your 60s, typically you don't have 60 more years in entertainment. You're gonna have to go home, okay?
Yes.
Because what starts to happen is these folks that you so excited about need you more than you need them. And when it's time to go home, folks don't have anything to go home to but Cocker Spaniels, because they spent their life trying to be celebrated by others.
Come on.
Which is oftentimes indicative of low self-esteem. And when you don't, when you treat them like regular people, as we have when we've encountered them, well, that's like giving garlic to a vampire, because
Yes.
they're saying, oh, we're not in awe. They're not in awe of me.
You're looking me in my eye.
You're looking me in the eye.
We've even had one to go so far as to say, I am the head nigga in charge.
Will
And his
Packer.
name, Mr. Will Packer. So when you have that, now you understand why we feel like the spotlight can only shine on one at a time. Because, I'm sorry, Daddy, for that brother to feel so comfortable to say, I'm the head nigga in charge. Well, if y'all know anything about Hollywood and black producers, it goes in a wave. You'll have one black producer. At one time it was Cold Black, and they were doing all the black films. Low budget. Then before it was Cold Black, it was another one. Then they always pick that one that they know will let you be the head nigga in charge.
And when you look at the definition, because what Will said, I know you not getting mad or upset because I call myself the head nigga in charge. When you do comedy on stage, you say profane things and worse than that. Well, we not on stage now. We's free now. So we ain't on stage. We having a real conversation, and you say come to you because you the head nigga in charge. But historically, the head nigga in charge was the man that the white man had put in charge to be in charge of the niggers.
Come on.
So when you refer to yourself as the head nigga in charge, and you've got Danny Glover, you've got Gabrielle Union,
Come on.
you've got Monique,
Come on.
you've got a list of people who, they're not niggas. They're not niggers. Somebody may say, that's my nigga. But they're not niggers. Then you don't understand the nuances of what it is that you're saying and how one could be brainwashed. And again, as we say this about Brother Will, this is not because we don't like him. I love a brother named Will Packer. I love his hustle. I love his drive. I love what he's done. What I don't love is the way he goes about conducting business, and the way in which he conducted business with us was a way that was less than truthful.
Yes.
And then you're going to turn around and be Big Willie. So when we have these conversations, it's not to tear somebody down. See, what you will notice is, ask Oprah, ask Tyler, ask Lee, ask Will. Why don't y'all have a dialogue with them face to face and see where it goes? And I tell you, and I apologize.
No, Daddy.
The only place it can go, if people are willing to tell the truth, is a place where folks say, you know what? I handled that wrong. I want to apologize. How can we make it right? And if you come at Monique and or I in that way, all we're going to say is, which one of us don't make mistakes?
What they banked on, those four names you named, they banked on exactly what they knew our community would do. Our community gonna go with whoever got the bag, whoever got the money, because we want a piece of it. So fuck that. Even though we know it's true, fuck it. We gotta go with the bag. You know, and shining the spotlight, and this just came to my mind, Daddy, and saying what we know is true. We were watching a sports show the other day, and it was about brother Des Bryant. And Stephen A. Smith was speaking his opinion. And Stephen A. Smith said, I know he's right. What he's saying is right. However, he should be quiet because it could affect him.
Come on.
Now, for me, now the white cat, Max Kellerman, was saying, fuck that. How do you defend yourself if you know that what they're saying is wrong? And it bothered me, Daddy. It bothered me to watch Stephen A. Smith say this shit. I know he's right, but you gotta be careful. It took me back to when Stephen A. Smith said some shit that he said to the women in his family, which I thought was absolutely right. If you don't want to get nobody to put their hands on you, don't you put your hands on nobody. And watch your mouth when you're talking to men. I thought that's the real shit that a man gives to the women in his family. Listen, if you don't want to be hit, don't you hit. We agreed with that. When that cat came back and apologized because the network said, we don't agree with your statement. And then you watch this brother say about Des Bryant, I know you're right. I know what the owner of the Cowboys is saying is fucked up and wrong, but you better be careful. That's why we stay in the positions we stay in my humble opinion.
That's why we stay. And it's not a knock on Steve as much as it is a knock on the mentality that we've adopted where we're saying we're willing to forego what is right in order to fit in and be seen and have an opportunity to do what we do. But it's kind of like, what are you willing to do to get ahead? What are you willing to compromise in terms of your values, especially when you're telling the truth? And as much as they want to talk about Dez and the whole nine, what they were basically conveying was the same T.O. effect. He's not as anyone who stands up and stands out and calls for the establishment to be accountable, they're automatically being looked at as they're bad people. So when a person such as myself will have a conversation with others in reference to the value of this individual here, and they say to me, we have never ever seen a performance like that. I've worked with this person, I work with that person, I work with this person. I've never ever seen a comedy show and a woman and a person have command of an audience like that. So then when I say to them, when we get to negotiate, so let me ask you a question. If we live in a world where you're supposed to get what you pay for, and what you saw was something that you considered unprecedented, are you trying to give us a deal that is unprecedented based upon the performance, or you're trying to get an unprecedented performance for the normal deal that you give out? And then these questions are what make me difficult, because I'm not going to be cussing people out. I'm not going to be arguing. I'm not going to be loud talking, folks. That's not how I get down. So when you ask difficult questions, then you get a chance to find out, well, when in history have we ever paid people of color fairly as a norm? It is your job to work it out so you can get paid fairly for yourself. And again, it's happening on all fronts. So let us stop saying who's the best, LeBron or Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. They were the best during their time. They were the best that did it during their time, because again, nobody says who was better between Pistol Pete Maravich and Bob Cousy. They just allow a linear platform of greatness to be seen. Let us allow Oscar Robinson.
Come on.
Let us allow Dr. J. Let us allow Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James to live like they live and just be a form of greatness across the board, not who was the greatest.
Come on now. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sidney. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hello, this is Troy, and I'm calling from Jacksonville, Florida.
Hey, Troy, talk to us, baby.
I'm watching, and I just want to say that, first of all, I'm very proud of you for continuing to fight and speak up for all that you believe in and stand on. I personally know from experience that truth can be very uncomfortable, and it has been uncomfortable for me at one point in my life when I had to receive it, and it didn't feel nice. In hindsight, it was the best thing for me, and it made me a better person. And also, as far as what people were saying about the Nicki Minaj and all these comparisons, I think as long as people are comfortable in themselves, ultimately they won't feel the need to compete with people.
Yes.
And I also feel like if you feel like you're at your best, then you're automatically the best. You know, it doesn't matter if it's about somebody else or not. As long as you feel at your best and your fullest potential, then you are the best.
You better say that, baby. Come on, we love you, brother. That's it. Wear your crown. You know what I'm saying? Wear yours. That compete against yourself. Say, how do I make me better? Instead of being so worried about how do I be better than that one. Be okay in your crown.
Because the only person that you're ever gonna be with 24/7 is yourself. So if you're worried about who's better than you and who you're better than, you're wasting your time on not focusing on how good can you be.
And when it comes to, because we read the comments as they go up really fast, and I want to address it. And this is about shining the spotlight, and it's all going to make sense. And someone put in the room just now, since your husband came in, it seems like your career just went down. And I want to address you, my baby. Since my husband came in, my career has gotten extremely better. And let me tell you why. Because what happens is when you have a manager that says to you, listen, Monique, the talent is not our best interest. Our best interest is with this industry because you come and go. You're like a revolving door. Well, would you want someone to represent you that's telling you you're not my best interest because you come and go? And I was getting the kind of deals that said you're not my best interest because you come and go. So therefore, we're going to get you the nigga rate, we're going to get you the nigga deal, and then we're going to send you on your nigga merry way and tell you thanks for letting us exploit you, nigga. Well, when my husband then comes into play and I say, listen, I need you to do this. And what I also want to address is because people think that for some reason, there's some people that think I can't make up my own mind. You have all this mind control over me, and I only do what you say. Y'all, are y'all out y'all motherfucking mind? Like, y'all know me. Y'all know I'm not that type of woman to say, oh, let me just sit on my hands. No. But what I did become was the type of woman that knew how to trust and believe in her man.
And not from faith.
Not from faith, but from goddamn action. That was earned. That was a position that was earned. It was not something that I just said, oh, let me turn it over, because I had 2 other husbands before this one. And we didn't even know what was in each other's bank accounts. This position was earned, and I watched and listened to him in those meetings, and I listened to those conversations, and I listened to those executives that had no answers and couldn't explain why they were offering what they were offering. So when some of you feel like, to include Whoopi Goldberg, let me be clear, that feels like, oh, it's your husband that's fucking it up. And when I said to Whoopi Goldberg, well, it's my husband and our attorney, Ricky Anderson, that's negotiated the biggest deals of my career. Now tell me about my husband.
And here's the thing. What I come back and share with Monique is, don't take what they say so heavy, because they only know what they hear.
Yes.
And if you believe what you hear, then you're going to believe what you hear. You're going to pass that narrative on. But whenever has the folklore been that black men are able to conduct good business? I've said it before. Red Fox, when he played the character Sanford and Son, used to say, I ain't letting no black doctor work on me. I need me a Jew.
Come on.
Why? Because it spoke to the confidence that we were sold on that we should not have in one another. So then, how in the world, because again, I become an enigma. Not an enigma, but an enigma. The black man who now is able to speak and articulate himself, which they must bring to your attention of how well you're able to articulate yourself, but then ask the questions that make them a bit befuddled because they're not used to having to answer questions, especially from us, because we're very accepting of what it is that they offer. And I know this to be true, and we know this to be true, because part of their dialogue that they share with us is, well, so many others have taken this. This is what happens is when you've got people that won't stand up and they're quick to sit down, they looking at you like, why are you not like everyone else?
Come on.
And it's because we're not like everyone else. Tell me about 10 black female comedians. Tell me about 10 black white comedians. Tell me about 10 comedians that have Academy Awards for acting, got chops in acting, but are killers at stand-up comedy, and that's what they do for a living. There's only one woman that exists on the planet. I'm sitting next to her. And if you tell me when you come see her, you've never seen anything like that before, how do you get mad at me when I'm saying, show us a number that we ain't never seen before?
Come on, y'all. We talking about it. Okay. We was going to talk to them. You know what? I must address this because it tickled my spirit. Let's address it. Hey, you on with Monique and Sidney. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, this is Kato, Monique. I'm from Alabama, man. I just want to say me and my wife love you and Sidney, man.
Hey, Kato, we love you back, brother.
Love you back.
And one more thing, I've been hitting in the comments, man. My wife has a radio show called Joint Airs Magazine Radio Show. We would love to have you and Sidney on there, man, just to talk about the powerful of being just black married couples, man, and how you have a strong man standing right beside you, not in front of you, but beside you. And I love what you do, Sidney, man. Trust me, you motivate me in my marriage. You and Monique motivate me and my wife in our marriage, man. And we follow you all until we couldn't follow y'all no more. But we would love to have y'all on our radio show.
But we got to do it. We got to find a way to do it. Hit it in the DM. In the DM.
Oh, baby, you better talk it.
Oh.
Hit us in the DM.
I'm gonna slide in the DM there, Monique, man, and we definitely want y'all on, man. And we love y'all so much.
Brother, we love y'all back,
We
and
love
thank
you back.
you so much. And it's motivating for us as well to know that it's folks out there that's loving up on each other like we loving up on each other.
Come on now. Thank you, now.
One question, Monique. How can I send you all the information? Just go on your Instagram page?
Yeah, baby. If you go on my Instagram page and you follow real shit, just DM me the information.
So we can contact you.
Hey, Sidney, if I ever meet you, man, I want the glasses you got on, man.
Oh, man. I appreciate you now.
We love you, baby.
We love you.
All right,
you,
brother.
babe.
This is why.
That's why we do it. So when you got a guy like Brantley, 53, and you say what you say, and the trolls, we love the trolls because the trolls keep us focused on our goals. And when you have people that are in a loving relationship and understand the difficulties, the challenges associated with being in a relationship, then compiled with being people of color in a world that's not designed for you to win, and you're speaking about it, all we trying to do is make the world healthy enough to be accepting of one another and stop being so divisive.
Come on. Now, this is something that tickled me, baby, before the call came. Somebody has said, a couple people said, I look like the lady that sat behind the desk on Monsters, Inc. Wachowski, I need you to punch in your time clock.
Right.
I thank you, baby.
And again, when I believe Brantley was talking about Netflix, and he said Kevin Hart told the truth. I'm only addressing you, brother, because we love you, and that is, I don't want to say that he's not telling his truth, but I will communicate to you what they told us. And what they told us was that they didn't have a definitive formula. Because if they did, we were asking for it and we could have walked away and accepted that. Mm-hmm. But when you say you best base it on what you expect, and then again, this is not to knock Amy Schumer, but when you have people come out and you say, I ain't never seen nothing like that before, and then you say, well, we basing it upon what she expects. And she had a big movie coming out, and that movie was made for $42 million, but it made $45 million, in the box office. I don't know if you know the math, but that's a $3 million increase.
Boom.
Okay. Whereas Monique is a fan favorite in a movie called Almost Christmas that was made for $17 million, that made $42 million. So when you look at those differences, when you look at, she was an Academy Award winner in a movie called Precious that made $63 million, but was made for $10 million, and it was only in 1,000 theaters. Now let's do the math and multiply $63 million times 3,000 theaters, which she didn't get the opportunity to be in. It was 1,000. So when you look at sheer numbers, if you don't get the opportunities to take the swings of your counterparts, how can you expect to hit as many home runs?
You know, when I look at Brantley, and it looks like Brantley is a brother from the picture that's up.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about Charlemagne the God, which I'm sure Brantley is a fan of, when I see our brothers like that, along with Will Packer and Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry, when I see our black men like that, so willing to walk us in the room and let them have their way with us, then they come back and they get us and say, oh, don't worry about it. Just next time it won't be so hard and we'll make them use Vaseline. You're the kind of brothers for me as a black woman that says, I empathize with the women in your life. May it be your mother, may it be your wife, may it be your daughters. I empathize with the black women that are in your life because there was a time I would have cussed you out and called you a few things. But because this man is sitting by my side and someone said, Sidney has seemed to bring a calm to Monique, he has. And it allows me to empathize with black men such as Charlemagne the God and Will and Tyler and Lee and you too, Brantley, because the women that look up to you for protection.
And you too, Rolona.
And right, for the women that look up to you for protection and safety and security, they're looking into the eyes, in my humble opinion, of cowards. They're looking into the eyes of black men that say money is more important than morals. They look into the eyes of a black man that says, if it get too hot, bitch, you know I'll let you starve by yourself.
And they're looking into the eyes of a man of color that makes them say, Sidney, why are you that way when we've got so many people like Brantley who will cave in and do what it is that we say just so they can play ball with us? And what we're saying is, you know what? We like to play ball with you too, but not so that we get taken advantage of, but so that we can prosper together. And if that's unfair, we can live with that. If that's unfair, then how can it be fair? What you're asking, you've admitted that what they're providing is unprecedented, but you're coming with the regular.
The regular. So we're going to go to the line, Daddy, because they popping.
Come on.
Hey, you on with Monique and Sidney. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hi, this is Lisa Burton. How are you?
Hey, baby, we wonderful. Talk to us.
Oh, I'm from North New Jersey. I'm the lady that called a couple of weeks ago who did the article called Netflix Needs to Chill. I'm a journalist. Did you look at the article yet, Monique?
Yes.
Girl, I know that you said a lot of the black media didn't give you the love, and I knew you were right. I wrote those two articles and tore those butts out. So girl, I'm not as crazy as I was last time because I'm used to you now, so I'm good. So, let me just tell you something. Remember that show on TV years ago called Designing Women? And one of the actors in the show named Delta Burke was on there. Remember years ago she was on there and there was a big war?
Yes.
Delta Burke started out very skinny on the show. But over the years, she got a little chubby. And so the producer, some female, would say, lose weight, lose weight. They tore asses. They argued and tore asses. They got rid of Delta Burke. She was out of there the next season. Here's what white people do. They curse each other out. They call each other names. They tear each other's assholes out from the frame, and they make love later. They brought that girl back on the show after they had a war, and it was all in the media. They kissed and made up and gave that girl the money and let her be in the show. Why can't black people have enough confidence in themselves and respect for each other to let us tell the truth? Listen, Joe Blow. Listen, John Doe. I need to get the proper bag. It's not personal. And then have that conversation with two people in the business, your husband, hi, Sidney.
Hi.
Manager. He's having this discussion. He's got questions. He wants answers.
Well, I would.
Please,
I can't give a definitive answer, but what I would pose is this: what can we expect from a society that is run by individuals that were considered the lowest of their society? That under circumstances they are called pilgrims, but under Trump standards they would be called refugees. They come to a country from a monarchy and were taught a democracy through the Native Americans who taught them how to feed themselves, and then systematically they killed them and send them on the Trail of Tears with smallpox in their blanket. And then you say to yourself, and then they introduce us to a Jesus that while the Pope is praying to a black Madonna with a black Jesus in her arms, they give us a white Jesus to learn. And you go to Ephesians 6:5 and they say you should serve your earthly master as you do your heavenly master. Now they say it takes 30 days to form a habit, but we were enslaved for 400 years. So what does it take to get the slave from thinking like a slave when the stories of slavery have been passed down, not just from a verbal standpoint, but an attitude? So when Monique was just speaking a moment ago about a Stephen A. Smith, when they say, that he was right, but what you don't want to do is speak up because it might hurt your chances of getting in. And sometimes we have to realize as a black community that you have to say no now so that when you do say yes, it's under the terms of what is right. Because if you keep saying no to the people that are the opposition or the imposers of their will, they will look at those random few as being someone you can just brush away. They're the rabble rousers, because Martin Luther King was a rabble rouser. See, Malcolm X was a rabble rouser. Muhammad Ali was a rabble rouser. But when Muhammad Ali died, there were white people who convicted him years later, crying because they understood what it was that he stood for. So sometimes we got to stand for what it is that's right in the moment, with the understanding that it's not going to be appreciated in the moment, with the understanding that we just planted a seed for the future so that your children, my children, our grandchildren, their children may be in a world where they talk about these things like, damn, can you believe there was a time that the earth was filled with dinosaurs? Because this thinking is ancient, just like a dinosaur. So what the reason is, I don't know, but I'm posing things to you that say, under the circumstances that we have to live under, when we got a Brantley 53 calling in and saying that Oprah Winfrey is his Jesus because essentially she's a billionaire, it speaks to the conditioning that we've had of freedom. Money is in freedom, or freedom is in money, and they don't understand freedom is a state of mind.
Come on.
And let me add this. I want to.
You still with us? Talk to us.
So I wanted to add this. I've been very lucky to also, as a journalist, be a producer of documentaries and films. So I've had experiences. I think that everybody has a little power wherever they are. So even a small person can do something huge. I've been behind the scenes of many production budgets where I saw the money for the director of photography, for the editor, and they tell me, well, call a director of photography, only offers in this. I had a woman who is a female director of photography, awesome. She called me and said, Lisa, I think I'm getting lowballed when I'm doing these quotes. What do you think I should be charging for what I do? So since I've been behind the walls of these budgets, I wrote her a hot text message and said, girl, you should be getting $2,500 a day, not $600 a day. $2,500 a day to be a director of photography. And I said, send them that quote. I said, the only time you take that money is if you don't have no money in the bank and you're just taking it because you need to eat. But if you can stand in your truth, turn them down. Because I've seen budgets where black men, white men, and white women get that kind of money to be a director of photography, but black women don't. So my thing is, even if you're not a big-time Oprah or a big-time Tyler or a big-time anybody, even if you are the little man mopping the floor or if you're little Lisa Jordan as a producer, being able to tell somebody, here's what the money is, we all have a little bit of power to move
Come on, baby.
And that's every day.
We love you, sis.
We love you.
Okay, Monique, by the way, I don't be missing my week, girl. I'm a crackhead. I need my crack. I need Monique and Sidney on crack.
We're going to keep giving it to you, baby.
Come on now.
See you next week, girlie.
Love you, baby. When it's honest like that, and you have the ones that saying, my eyes are open and I'm woke. And you know what? I'm going to pull this out, Daddy, so, because we're right at the,
Baby, don't bother
we're
me.
right at the,
Okay.
but I want to address this cat, Bentley.
Brantley.
Bentley, this nigga know who I'm talking to.
Leonard.
Right, Charlemagne Digard. I want to address you because you say, well, Monique's career has suffered. And I want to address that. My career did suffer based off of a lie, not based off of my husband. My career suffered based off of Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, based off of what was a lie. So I want you to understand your facts, my baby, before you start judging something and you don't know what it is that you're judging. And again, Brantley is his name? Brantley, I hope you take out the time to really put the energy and love into the women in your family. And I don't know, maybe women is not something that you deal with, whomever it is that you deal with. I hope you take out the time that before you judge it, you listen to it and you understand it. Because you know what, Bentley, there was a time I didn't know all the facts. And I would just judge shit. Then when I found out the facts and found out I was wrong, I had to put my ass in between my head in between my legs, because now I got to go back and say, you know what, I called that one wrong. So what happens is when you're not even willing to listen and you've already made your conclusion, brother, I empathize for the people that you call your family,
And
especially the one you created.
And it's okay, because all we'll say to you is this: keep on watching. There's an old saying, when you do wrong, wrong will catch up with you. But what people forget to tell you is, when you do things the right way, right will catch up with you too. So y'all keep on watching Brantley, and the folks that feel differently, we love you because you keep us motivated in conjunction with the beautiful folks that say, we completely get it. Because I just told the young lady that called in, the reason why you would reply in the manner that you reply, 400 years of slavery is real. That's why people will give their pastors their last money, hoping that Jesus is going to give them a blessing. But what they end up giving them and don't understand is the blessing that your Jesus is going to give you, he already gave you when he gave you a conscience. And it's up to you to make and bring your heaven right now, because the people that's selling you on the afterlife, they taking advantage of this life right now. Why don't you?
You know, we were talking about, is there enough shine for everybody?
That's it.
There is so much shine, baby, that it can shine so bright that you would have to cover your eyes to say, it's just so much shine.
And as Monique is saying that, you can see coming through the blinds behind us, the shine is hitting. And I think that's symbolic, and maybe we'll close it down right there.
That's what we're going to do, Daddy. We want to thank y'all, babies. We want to thank y'all for taking out your time and giving us your ears, your heart, and your mind, because you could have been anywhere else, including you, Brantley. So,
Brantley.
What's the baby name?
Hey, Brantley, Leonard, Brother B.
Right. We want to thank y'all. And please know that we would ask you to tell a friend, tell another friend, and then tell 10 more friends, because we believe these kind of conversations can really enhance our community. And that's just a community of people.
That's it.
So we love y'all. And like my daddy always says, the mind is like a parachute.
It is no good unless it's open.
We love y'all.
For free.
Mwah. Bye, my babies.